since their debut a little over 2 years ago. Arken, this little company out of Texas, has earned this word-of-mouth reputation for creating these really high-quality scopes for less than $500. Today we have Arken's SH4 Gen2, and we're going to see if it lives up to the hype or if it's too good to be true. Alright, so we have our Arken SH4 Gen2 6-24x50 first focal plane. We have our scope packed with foam. Got an Allen wrench and a cleaning cloth. We have stickers or a sticker and an owner's manual. Oh, and it comes with a sunshade. And we'll install that later. I never really use sunshades. Okay, I've taken a moment to add on the Arken scope rings, and I got the package deal. You can get the accessory package, which comes with 34mm scope rings, scope covers, lens covers, throw lever, and a level. So that is a nice package if you can get it. And let's just take a moment to take in this scope here. By the way, nice scope rings. It's got a squared off recoil stop on the base. But one of the things that really got people excited about these Arkens is, I gotta say, up close in your hands, this thing looks like a $2,000–$3,000 scope. This does not look like a sub $1,000, or in this case, a sub $500 scope. This is really feels nicely built. All the knobs on the turrets and the dials are nicely designed and knurled, so they're easy to manipulate. That parallax focus, butter smooth, goes from infinity down to 25 yards. And bear in mind, I just want to let folks know, these are not range-finding markings, these are guide markings. Don't use them as precise range-finding markings, because that's not what they're for. Your focus, people are complaining like, oh, it's set at 100 yards and it's not focused at 100 yards. Well, that's because it's not designed to do that. This is just to give you guides. Your focus that you're seeing through your scope is going to be dependent not only on your parallax, but your ocular and your own eyes, and as well as what magnification setting you're at. So don't expect this to be tack sharp at where it says 100. If you're at 100, it may be just a little bit above or below. So that's normal. It has a built-in illuminator. It's got 6 illumination settings and an off in between each setting. And just talking about that, ocular focus, butter smooth, quite all the way to the end, butter smooth, great, easy to manipulate. The magnification wheel, surprisingly easy to turn for a new scope. Goes from 6 to 24 in about 180 degrees. And let's listen to these turrets that they're so famous for. Very nice. These are amazingly tactile, positive. You can definitely feel each and every click. And it does have a zero stop. These are non-locking turrets, but it does have a very firm and exact zero stop. It's settable with the set screw at the top. It comes with an Allen wrench, so you just cinch that down to when you've decided what your zero is, and you can reset your zero by loosening out these set screws and turning the turret. Once you've got your zero, you can reset your zero, and then you can also set your zero stop with this set screw up here. Let's listen to the windage. Again, also very tactile, positive, amazing. Again, non-locking, and you can reset with these set screws. No slop at all. This is super exact feeling. All right, but let's check it out. Let's take it out and see what kind of view we're going to get outdoors at long range, and we'll take it to the range and see if how well these turrets track. We're looking at the top of Mount Davidson, approximately 1,300 yards away, and we're looking at it through the scope at its lowest power setting, which is 6 magnification, which gives us the best possible view through this object in terms of color, contrast, brightness, and saturation. As we increase the power and the magnification of the optic, we lose a lot of the light, as well as the eye box gets narrower, especially so in this particular scope. Just to the right, about at the 2 hash mark on the center, from the center reticle, we see a white trail marker sign. That trail marker sign is about 36 inches tall, which gives us a good approximation, a good proxy for a steel target at this distance. Next, we'll look at the illuminated reticle, which illuminates just the very center of the reticle. Okay, I've got illumination 1, off, 2. The SH4 has off, an updated reticle 3, with a thickened center cross. Off, that is the only part that 4, is illuminated. I can start seeing it in daylight. 5, off, 6. So not daylight bright, but visible in a twilight, low light situation. I took it out to the range to test its optical performance at 100 yards, and while we have a moment, please hit that like and subscribe button. Of course, I'm assuming you liked this review video so far since you're still watching this. And if you like to watch things other than guns and ammo, well, I got you covered there too. Check out my other channel, Moondog R&D. If you don't see a link now, you'll find one at the end of the episode. Okay, we're looking through the Arken at 6 power at some reference targets down range at 100 yards. We're going to take a look at the amount of adjustments we're getting from our elevation turret. And you're seeing the bottom of the camera mount, not the tube, so you won't be seeing that when you're actually looking through the actual scope. And there we go, we're bottomed out. Let's bring this back to 0. Now let's take a look at the windage, which is essentially a full rotation. And that's it. Okay, let's bring this up to 24 power and take a look. As I zoom in, the point of impact doesn't shift and it stays in focus, but as it went beyond 12 power, the image started to cloud up a bit and I had to adjust the contrast in the camera. I've digitally enlarged the image by 300% so we can take a better look at the reference targets. On the left, we can see bullet holes on the reactive paste-up bullseye in the center of the paper, and one bullet hole below the paste-up target, but I can't make out the additional bullet holes near the bottom edge of the paper. At 24 power, the scope just lost a lot of contrast and detail, and the eye box got really narrow. Despite that, the glass was still pretty sharp. Looking at the U.S. Air Force's optical resolution chart on the right, we can make out vertical and horizontal lines down to element 4 in group -1, which is really good, putting it on par to an Athlon Helos or a Vortex Venom. Okay, we have it set at our MRAD target, and we're going to do a full rotation. We're going to do a box test. Go right. And then back, sorry, wrong direction, back up to 0, and then back, and we're back. Alright, so I passed the box test. Alright, we're going to run Cyclops Joe's famous nipple twister test and see if the reticle will return back to 0 after I mess around with the turrets and just twist them this way and that. And let's see. We're back. Yeah. Okay, as you saw, the SH4 really does live up to its reputation, and full disclosure, Arken sent this to me to test and evaluate. But it's not without flaws. In fact, literally, the first sample I got had a flawed reticle. I contacted their general customer support and they responded immediately. They sent me a label, I sent it back, and I got a new scope within 2 weeks. Now, maybe it's because I do YouTube reviews, but I'd like to think that they respond as quickly to any customer. And if you have any experiences with their customer support, please leave me a comment. Let me know if it was good, bad, or what have you. Now, let's talk about these turrets, which I think is the best feature of this scope. But for some, they're just too big. They're too broad, they're too tall, and they're non-locking. Now, for the elevation, it's understandable, but for the windage, it would have been nice if they could lock. So let's talk about the optics, which are generally sharp and bright, but it does cloud up beyond 12 power. And at 24 power, the eye box is really unforgiving, but at least the eye relief stays consistent at 3.5 inches. Yet despite those minor issues, I'm still impressed. You're getting way more than you're paying for with this scope. If you're interested in picking one up or learning more, check out my blog, moondogindustries.com. And if you got something out of this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and check out my other content. Thanks again for watching. Moondog, out. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please share it on forums, Facebook, Reddit, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, MeWe, whatever social media you're on. And if you want to see all of my videos, check out moondogindustries.com.